the Dirty Sports Podcast. I said, welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast with Andy Ruther and Joe Praino. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Los Angeles, California, Joey No Chill Praino.
Hello, Andy.
Good morning, I guess, still.
Still morning here.
Yeah.
It's a great morning here.
Is it?
Yeah. It's nice. It's a breezy. It's cool. You know, it's a nice day. Football tonight, NBA last night, World Series tomorrow. We do this every time this time of year comes around. It's tough to beat mid-football season start of basketball, World Series baseball. It's hard to beat it.
It's so early for basketball. I hate this NBA starting in October. I don't know, man.
It always has.
Has it?
Yeah, it always has. But it always when it happens, it always does feel early because NBA preseason slips by without anybody noticing. Like you just don't notice because everything's going on with football. You got playoff baseball. So you don't even get that, like, you're not even whetting your appetite.
Yeah.
They're just burying preseason basketball games. They're behind, everything else on SportsCenter. Not that I watch SportsCenter. I don't know the last time I've watched SportsCenter, but you know my point. Even on like the front page.
Well, I did watch actually some of the Laker game the other day.
Nice.
I did put that on.
You didn't watch any of the games last night?
No, I didn't. Who played last night? I know.
Well, first of all, the Knicks played the Celtics. Kristaps Porzingis returned to the Garden. Shocker. Went off. Huge game. Big dagger at the end. Dagger free throws at the end as well. I'll never get over that trade. And then Wembanyama made his debut for the Spurs against the Mavericks.
How'd he look?
He looks ridiculous. My girlfriend's not much of a sports fan, but if there's one sport she likes, it's basketball. She lived in Toronto when the Raptors had their run, so she was like, and I was like, oh, she's like, what's the deal with this game? I was like, oh, it's the first game of the year, but it's also this guy Wembanyama's first game. And I was like, he's ridiculous. And she's like, which one is he? I go, you tell me. And she was like, is he the gigantic skeleton? And I was like, yep, that's him. He's 7'5". He's shooting threes. I mean, his first two baskets were threes. There's no blocking him. There's no contesting. It's very, it's very Porzingis-y, but like to the 3 inches taller. Like last night in the Knicks game, these teams, they give up. They get these guys that are these unicorns, and then they give up. They're like, oh, he's not panning out. It's like, it's going to take a while for the 7'2", 7'3", 7'5" unicorn to figure out the league. But like, we now have, last night, there was a huge Porzingis game for the Celtics. Chet made his debut for OKC. And Wembanyama, it's like, dude, we're going to another level where like actual aliens are playing the sport of basketball.
Forgot about Chet.
Yeah.
I wonder what the expectations are for Wemby. Like,
he played 23 minutes. I think he scored 15.
Yeah, I saw he scored 15.
It's a nice little game. 23 minutes. Pop running him out there for half the game.
You know what though, with these so-called aliens, my thing is always going to be, can they hold up health-wise?
Right. They're
Right.
freak athletes. The only thing that don't work ever is their feet.
Yeah, and the bone structure of just a big man. I mean, how many times have we seen it? It's always feet problems.
Yeah. Lower body problems from the knees down. Knees, shins, ankles, hand and shoulders, knees and toes.
Dude, don't. You can't do that around me, man. You can't, because I'll go full Cocomelon. You can't. You already did it. You don't understand what Cocomelon has done. It's in my head now. That's one of the songs.
I mean, how is Cocomelon even doing that? Like that song, like Cocomelon, write your own shit, dude.
They don't write shit. I'm gonna start reviewing Cocomelon videos for real. I'm gonna start reviewing them. I've already started planning this out. There are so many plot holes I want to destroy in Cocomelon. I'm gonna start putting them out on my personal Instagram.
Plot holes.
Well, I don't even know if I'd call it plot holes. There's just
You're
so
like,
much.
what are we doing here? Your knees aren't even connected to your toes. We're just skipping over shins.
I'm talking about some of the other ones with the families and just I don't even want to tip it too much, but there's so much.
I don't even want to tip it too much. No
The point is,
spoilers.
I've watched enough Cocomelon. There's only 8 seasons, and I watch it on loop. That's Isla's go-to. I watch it on loop. Now I've just picked up on things. I'm just like, this doesn't make sense to me. Why is the dad doing
But
this?
it does make sense to a 8-month-old.
Which is funny because Eddie If slid into my DMs about Cocomelon based on the Instagram post I did, which was a screenshot from a tweet. Anyway, he's like, dude, don't let her watch that. It's terrible. It'll turn your kid into an asshole. Cocomelon turns kids into assholes. And I'm like, well, explain. And he didn't really explain it to me.
Meanwhile, every time I'm with Eddie, he's playing fucking, what's the other guy?
Flippy?
No, the guy who does
Bluey?
I love bread. I love bread. I love bread. You know this dude?
Peppy the Pig?
No, man.
Peppa the Pig?
No. It's all these songs. Come on. You're going to get it. And Eddie plays this shit all the time. And I'm like, I don't think this is any better for your kid, Eddie.
What did parents do before Netflix? Like, think about how we grew up.
Parry Grip.
Who's this guy?
Parry Grip. I don't know.
Is he French?
He makes songs. I don't know.
But like, seriously, like, what did parents do? Like, what do they do for you and your family? Like, what did they do for my family? You just put your kid in front of something?
Yeah, you just put him outside, touch grass. Blocks, Legos. And then at some point, Nintendo.
Can you imagine if your kid was like Wemby? Like are his parents that tall? Like, what happens if you produce that kid? Because you see it sometimes where the parents aren't like that, and then suddenly this genetic freak just comes out.
Well, bro, my dad was like 5'7". My parents basically are both 5'7".
So then how do you happen?
I don't know. People were like, how did that happen? I'm like, I don't know. I ate a lot of McDonald's cheeseburgers as a kid. Maybe it's the steroids. That's the best explanation I've come up with so far. It's a working theory, but
I had McDonald's this week. Bro, inflation is real at McDonald's.
Oh, no doubt about it. They're
So
like, you want something off the $4 menu? The $4 menu.
I hadn't gone for a while. I was going, it was late, and there's a place that has like pizza by us, pizza by the slice. I was like, let me just pop up there. It was 11 o'clock. Let me pop up there and get a couple slices. And the pizzas, the pieces of pizza looked, they've been sitting there all day. I was, fuck that. There's a McDonald's across the street. I'll at least, we know what you're going to get. I pulled up to that drive-thru. I was like, what is this? And by the way, it's misleading. The menu, Praino, says the 2 for $3. Nothing on that was 2 for $3. You can't list it under the 2 for $3 and not have 2 for $3.
Are you sure it wasn't 2 for $3? Because they listed it like $2.19 or $2.69 or whatever, but then I think they give you 2 of them for $3.
Maybe I'm completely wrong. I don't know. Anyway,
I'm good for I'd say once a month McDonald's. So often it happens when I'm on the road too. Like I had it on the road from Key West to Key West to Fort Lauderdale when I was driving back.
Well, you know what you're gonna get, like you say.
Yeah. And also in the morning, I know I can get breakfast and I know I can get McDonald's coffee. Good. Straight up good.
Just make sure you don't put out any social media content saying that their chicken sandwich is underrated because people will come for your head.
I think we have a lot of like our audience has a lot of like blind spots, but maybe the biggest blind spot is not understanding overrated, underrated. The people who get it love it, and the people who just don't understand.
Yeah. You're not saying this is the best chicken sandwich ever made. You're just saying it's underrated.
It's like Tom Brady's overrated, Eli Manning's underrated. How do you think he's better than Tom Brady? It's like, no. That's not what I said. That is not what I said.
So I've come to a conclusion now that I'm still newer to TikTok. TikTok is by far the most sensitive crowd, is it not?
Sensitive?
Sensitive, ignorant, ill-informed. I think so, because it's the youngest generation's social media app.
Yeah.
Like lately, we've been getting a lot. Again, we're new to this, guys. Like we're basically brand new to TikTok within the last year, and now we're just putting out videos. My favorite new thing is, oh, you're new to podcasting, or start a podcast, and it's like, no,
come to see our 1,000th episode in New Orleans.
No. Oh, look at these two bros who decided to grab a mic and start a podcast.
Yeah.
No, not even close, man. You were probably in your dad's nuts when this podcast started. So move along, little tyke, and let the big boys talk sports. Yeah, that's kind of my initial impression. Praino gave me a little tutorial a few weeks ago, guys. It was pretty funny after an episode. I was like the boomer, and Praino was teaching me TikTok.
Yeah. I was like, this is how you green screen.
Which I'll be honest,
comment.
I took notes during our little tutorial session, and I was looking for him the other day. I was like, man, I kind of almost forget what Praino told me. He's going to have to do another little tutorial for me.
Yeah, we can do it.
So NBA has started.
NBA has begun.
It has begun. We now have a World Series, a surprise World Series at this point.
Totally. Absolutely. Mega surprise World Series. And I guess this is how I know I'm like a baseball fan. As opposed to, I feel like there's sports fans who watch baseball. I feel like there's baseball fans who watch baseball. And sports fans are the type of people who come out during the playoffs, you know? Like, I'm a football fan, I'm a basketball fan, I'm a baseball fan. Am I a college football fan? No. Am I a hockey fan? No. But I am a sports fan. So, like, I'll put on the Stanley Cup final when it's on. I know it's the final and not the finals, you know? I'll put on the college football playoff when it's on, but I'm not following it the whole year. But it feels like sports fans are like, oh, great. Rangers, Diamondbacks, don't care. I'm a baseball fan. I'm like, this is amazing. Because as a baseball fan, you know, we talked about the NFL and the, you know, we threw out the conspiracy of the rigging, which I've always been anti that conspiracy theory because, like I said, parity makes sports interesting. Baseball, historically, Red Sox, Yankees, Dodgers, whoever gets bought by a team, whoever gets bought by the guy with the most money, suddenly they're fucking, you know, in it to it. This is the parity Olympics here. Like the Rangers went in all in a couple years ago, started spending money like gangbusters in free agency. They're there. We're 2 years removed from them being a bad team. We're 1 year removed from Arizona being a bad team and 2 years removed from them losing like 100 games. And it's proof that the way sports are now, especially with these contracts and the way some of these guys come up so ready to contribute that you're a couple savvy off seasons away from winning the World Series. There's been decades where teams are like, where you could just be like, dude, the Pirates haven't had a chance to win the World Series since Barry Bonds left. Like, legitimately. And now you're like, you're a couple savvy off seasons, couple of correct free agent signings, couple of, cultivating a good farm system away from potentially being in the, like, some team that no one had in the World Series is going to win the World Series this year. And I'm fucking here for it. And I'm excited about it. It's going to be a fun series. I have no idea who's going to win at this point because I had all these teams. Like, dude, we're 2 days removed from me saying the Phillies are, like, the idea of Arizona going in and winning games 6 and 7 in Philly is crazy. And they did it. And let's also talk something about Philly. I don't know if you saw this. Philly has a Game 7 losing streak between basketball, baseball, hockey, and then that's not even considering that they lost the fucking Super Bowl last year.
No, I didn't see that.
I'm here for Philly not eating their fucking Wawa hoagie too fast, not chewing, not being able to get that gas station dairy in their mouth to wash it down, and just choking every postseason. The choke. So real. You had a fumble. You had an untouched fumble to lose the Super Bowl. You had a Game 6, Game 7 loss to get eliminated in the NLCS. Oh, I'm so here for Philly choking on hoagies.
Well, the thing I keep seeing is that this World Series has the most combined losses between two teams. Or no, the fewest wins. Or maybe it's both. I know it's the fewest wins. It's the fewest amount of wins between two teams ever to play in a World Series.
I think mathematically it has to be both, right?
Right? Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Wouldn't it have to be both? Yeah, there we go. So I know there's some gripes about that, but
who cares? I don't give a fuck.
I don't think this is just my opinion.
I love it. You know, people always talk about, like, get hot in the postseason. This team got hot. That team got hot. They didn't get hot, man. They nutted up.
I don't think people want to see that. I think they do want to see your traditional powerhouses or your big markets.
Sports fans want to see that.
100%.
Baseball fans want to see this.
You think?
I think.
You think the diehard baseball fan
loves this.
Wants to see.
Loves this.
Arizona, Texas.
Why not? What's wrong with this? What's better? What makes?
I don't know.
What makes Philly, Houston better? Stars?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, these guys are fucking. Alex Bregman wasn't a star. Altuve wasn't a star when they were making their first World Series. Trey Turner wasn't a star a couple years ago with the Nats. He's a star now.
You know, Major League Baseball hates this.
Good. Major League Baseball are shitheads that don't know how to fucking promote anything. Did you see the video of the guy screaming at Manfred?
No.
He's like, hey, Rob. And it's like at one of the playoff games, and Rob Manfred turns over. He's like, if you want the youth, stop with the fucking blackouts. And he just, like, turns away.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's true though, right? Like, so at this point, we all know I am not a diehard baseball guy. Like, there's definitely a lot less intrigue for this series. Somebody like me, at least I know some names on the Astros and the Phillies. Like, honestly, I have no clue who's on the Diamondbacks.
But you're going to if you watch the series. And this is what sports is all about, vaulting people into the consciousness of sports fans on the grandest stage. Like, think about, dude, I'm a Mets fan. Think about how many people, like, Daniel Murphy was just this fucking knockaround guy. We couldn't find a position for him, blah, blah, blah. He couldn't field fucking second base. He that postseason, the whole world found out about him. Carlos Beltran was just like a guy who was like a good up and coming prospect. And he got, he was on the Royals and he was good. So, but like no one knows a fucking single Kansas City Royal ever. Then he goes to the Astros. He has that postseason. They're like, holy shit, this is the dude. And then the Mets as free agents. Like all the guys historically.
Remember that giant mole he had by his ear?
Oh, yeah. All the guys who historically have just made their name in the playoffs.
You're doing a serious thing. And I'm just thinking about that disgusting mole he had.
It's amazing that all those guys, too, him, Drew Brees, or whatever, they're always someplace where it's like if you're in a helmet, no one sees it.
No one sees it.
Yeah.
And you take the helmet off, you're like,
you're
what?
Like, whoa!
Whoa! Can you get that removed?
A little something right there.
It's funny you bring up Drew Brees. I've been seeing a lot more in him with Sean Payton's situation. It almost seems like that conversation now, people are giving more weight to Brees. In the past, it was a lot. Oh, it's Peyton and Brees. It's Peyton and Brees. And kind of like the Belichick Brady. But now you start seeing, well, Peyton's struggling. And I know it's only 7 games, but now it seems like that whole discussion is tilting
Sean Payton was a dog shit offensive coordinator on the New York Giants.
But that's my point. My point is now the conversation seems to be going, oh, Brees actually excelled so much better with a bad offensive coordinator. I don't know. It's just kind of interesting. But I don't know.
Ruther was like, baseball talk's gone too far. Maybe if I throw in a mole reference, I can pivot this to football. What an end around way to try to get it to football. He's like, we've talked baseball for 6 minutes. He's like, remember that mole on Carlos Beltran's face?
Wasn't my intention. Kind of went that way. You made the Drew Brees reference. That was your mistake.
That mole? It's a lot like Drew Brees' mole. And I think Drew Brees wore 15 in college. Anyway, the NFL we're in week 8. Let's pick some games. What the fuck just happened here?
Oh, Joe, don't you think we're going to the NFL?
He's like, I don't know anybody on the Diamondbacks. Meanwhile, I can name a lot of Arizona Cardinals. You want me to list them? Anyway, they're playing the fucking Ravens this week. What? How in the world did we get here?
Well, it's like I said, man, I don't know what the NFL could do to get me to stop watching. I mean, basically nothing at this point. But don't think we're going to jump to the NFL just yet. I had so many goddamn people message me about this Dwight Howard situation that,
oh my God,
we're going to get to it, guys. We're going to get to it. In fact, you were actually the first person to tip me off to it. It took a few days, but it finally made its way to mainstream news. I was real curious following the Dwight Howard situation, thinking, at what point does the mainstream news pick this up? Because I felt they probably had fears of looking homophobic, even though it's not homophobic, just reporting a story, right?
Yeah, but I guess it's like, the potential, and that's why I figured they weren't picking up on it too, but I guess the potential homophobia would be, why is it newsworthy? And I guess there's essentially like a sexual assault in there, so I guess that would be like the newsworthy thing.
100%.
But the Dwight Howard's out of the league. Dwight Howard, but like he was a big star.
Dude,
but
he's
I think
a Hall of Famer.
But I think the doing a splashy headline about this that kind of tells the whole tale that is out there, it's hard not to be like, all right, so is this just like an outing of him? Is that what like the point of this is? And obviously if you read deeper into it, no, that's not it. And then also, let's be honest, Andy, I think in the world today, forget the being afraid of the being called homophobic, but if this had happened to a woman if Dwight Howard had done this to a woman, it would have immediately jumped up there. It's like, I don't think men
true.
getting sexually assaulted is like as splashy.
No, you're right. I totally agree. So this came out a few days ago, and apparently a man is claiming that Dwight Howard sexually assaulted him and forced him into a threesome with another man who's dressed as a woman named Kitty. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of legs to this story. And
such a Ruth there. There's a lot of layers to it. There's a lot of legs too, because Dwight Howard's like 7'1", but there's 6'10" or whatever he is. But I like the legs. Like this story's there's a lot of legs to this. This story's gonna run for days.
It's got legs, man. I'm telling you, this story's got legs. So of course there was a comical headline. Have to
shout out our boy
Robert Littell from Black Sports.
The Robert Littell parentheses Seinfeld reference in his headline is amazing.
Amazing, right? I'm gonna actually pull that up. We got to see the Robert Littell one. This
Robert Littell was so close to going no homo that he
really was
like, no, I can't do no homo. I can do. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
He tweeted from Black Sports Online. Read Dwight Howard admitting he's gay in parentheses. Not that there's anything wrong with that. And setting up threesome with a man he met on IG and a man dressed as a woman named Kitty. Howard is being accused of forcing man to play Here Kitty with Kitty.
Dude, he was a journalism major, I believe. Like, he's a journalist.
Yeah, he is.
He has 4 kitties in this headline.
It's amazing.
Just as a woman named Kitty, Howard is being accused of forcing a man to play Here Kitty with Kitty. Court docs and text. Pics in bio.
So, I mean, I read the whole thing. So this was the full thing was posted on Radar Online. And for the record, guys, this is court documents. So this isn't like tabloid fodder. Now there is a he said going on here. Howard is claiming in court documents all the sexual activity was consensual.
Right.
So that's Howard's side from him and his lawyer. Now, the other man, Stephen Harper, who he met on social media, who Howard's not denying because there's proof of this, is claiming he was sexually assaulted.
Right.
So basically,
so I think that's where you go back to the thing where it's like, it's all to be determined what has happened and what hasn't happened. But what has happened is that Dwight Howard hooked up with this guy. There was another guy there dressed as Kitty or whatever. And that, for like, everybody's agreeing that did happen. It's just whether it was consensual or non-consensual. And I think that's the point that you brought up before. If a news outlet goes, the things we do know are this, boom, then it feels a little homophobic, right? It's like,
sure.
Okay. But at the same time, it's a wild story.
It was a wild story. And I'm just going to delve into it because there's enough here. Well, first of all, before we get into that, I didn't even know Howard's playing in Taiwan. Did you know that?
I did, yeah.
Which makes me think, like, dude, he must have blown all his money. I mean, why is he still playing?
I mean, he's bought a lot of cat costumes. They're not like, if you're gonna get a real one, if you're gonna get a decent looking one, where you're like, that's a big cat. That's not a guy in a costume. That's a big cat. They're expensive.
And I know he's got a lot of kids. I think he has 4 or 5 kids from 4 or 5 different women. So, like, I'm sure he's getting.
Antonio Cromartie's like, is that a lot?
Yeah, I'm sure he's got some.
I have 5 5-year-olds. Like, how's the math on that?
So apparently they meet, and this happens July 19, 2021. I love how Howard admitted that they removed their clothing and engaged in consensual kissing. Okay, well, it doesn't just stop there, dude. So anyway, according to this man, Stephen Harper's lawsuit, Howard surprised him by bringing out this.
I just love the
person
idea. I love the idea of consensual kissing, rather, because I tried to picture non-consensual kissing, and it's just like every grandma kissing. You're like, oh, there's Andy. And you're like, oh God, grandma, oh no.
So I
And
guess
then my nana kissed me non-consensually, for the record.
so. According to this complaint, Harper said that Kitty starts performing oral sex on Howard. Kitty, sorry, let me try to get to this. Harper was uncomfortable and did not want to participate. Howard tried to touch his junk. Doesn't say it in those words, but we're just going to do the Andy Ruther version. Through his underwear. And then Howard claimed, according to this Stephen Harper guy, that he was going to do whatever and he was going to like it. Those are all in quotes. And apparently Howard towered over him, tore off his underwear, started giving him oral sex, which he didn't want. Said he felt, he was pinned down, blah, blah, like, and the whole thing goes on. Lots of sex, but I have to say, now it's a he said thing. But tell me the thought didn't go through your head. Of course, it's been going through my head nonstop. I could not think if you were sexually assaulted, and I'm not saying that this person was, but if you were sexually assaulted, there's no one, like, I couldn't think of anybody worse to sexually assault me than a 7-foot NBA player.
I like how Dwight Howard's like, I'm going to do whatever I want and you're going to like it. Just FYI, though, what I want is not to make a 5-foot jump shot because I've never made a jump shot.
I was waiting till I thought you'd hit me with a free throw joke first, but you hit me with the 5-foot jump shot.
Dwight Howard made some free throws in this year, but he never once made a jump shot.
But according to Howard's attorneys, again, everything was consensual, and that this gentleman is just seeking money, and that Dwight Howard blocked him on social media. And then this person was saying, you better pay me or I'm going to ruin you with this story made public. So who knows? And then all those things ensue. I mean, look,
the thing to remember, and I think we're getting past that point of what's crazy is, here's what's crazy about the whole gay conversation is it's almost like we're getting past that point where insinuating guys are gay or those stories leaking or whatever is like newsworthy. But at the same time, we're still without like a star out player in any league. It's
crazy.
There.
It's crazy.
There. We know for sure that they're there.
For sure.
But we're still without it. So we haven't gone past that entirely. But Dwight Howard, I mean, he entered the league a while ago, and these rumors have always been around. And it's just kind of proof, like, if you just keep hearing something over and over and over, it's probably true.
Sure, 100%. Well, on anything, right? Whether it's someone's sexuality or whether somebody did something or a lie, if you keep hearing something, where there's smoke, there's fire. Did I do that one correctly?
Yes.
So I finally did a phrase correctly? All right.
Yeah.
Win for me. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing came out a few years ago, right? With Dwight Howard and DMs with somebody who's transsexual. So it's like these rumors have been there. But to your point, I don't think for the better. I don't think people care as much.
But also that people don't care as much, but at the same time, athletes are still afraid, obviously, because
100%.
Otherwise, Dwight Howard would have been out.
Yeah, and to me, and right, and I don't. He's clearly just bisexual.
Sure.
Like, I don't even think he's not like he's just full blown gay or, can you even say that in 2023? Full blown gay?
I don't. My camera froze. I didn't participate in that conversation.
But, the thing for me is, again, if this is true, like, these are some pretty fucked up allegations. Now, again, I don't know when this person went to the cops or went to any sort of law enforcement. Oh, here it is. He went to the police a year later. So I don't know. I mean, look, there's a lot of things at play. You waited a year.
Yeah.
Now I know the other side will always say like people were scared to go to authorities.
Or people going, what, it happened. There's no undoing it. And do I really give a shit? Like, nothing's going to happen to Dwight Howard. Do I really give a shit? Like, yeah, money would make me feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is about money. I want money from you. You did this to me. I want money. I mean, that's a transactional thing that happens. I think that's something that we always forget in all of these conversations. It's like, just because somebody sought money as damages doesn't mean that they're like, oh, it must have not have happened. This is just an extortion thing. If you throw a rock through my front window right now, if a rock came through this window right here, and this guy was like, oh, bro, I'll be back in 2 days to fix the window, I'd be like, bro, just give me $500. I'll get it taken care of. Like, yeah, probably more than I need, but it's like, I don't want to deal with this, man. Just give me more than enough to cover it. I'll take care of it. I'll get a professional to do it. Oh, you just wanted money. Like, no, I just didn't want to deal with this shit anymore. Just pay me.
How much money do you think Dwight Howard made in his career?
Oh.
See how close you can get.
200 million.
245 million.
It's a good ballpark, though.
Pretty good ballpark. Now, here's the tough one. So Dwight Howard played. He entered the league. Damn, I didn't realize he entered it that long ago. He entered the league for the 2004-2005 Magic season. That's when he was drafted. His last season was with the Lakers, 2021-2022. Let's see if Praino can name all the teams Dwight Howard played for. He played for, hold on. I'm gonna count up real quick. But let's see if you can name them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams.
I'm not even gonna get close, but we can try. Okay. 8 teams?
8 teams, if I counted this correctly.
I'm literally going pen to paper here.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, obviously the Magic.
Yeah, it starts off with the Magic.
Rockets.
Correct.
Lakers.
Correct.
Mavs.
He did not play for the Mavs.
He didn't play for the Mavs?
No. So you got 3 so far.
That seems crazy. He didn't play for the Mavs.
He did not play for the Dallas Mavericks.
He played for the Hornets Bobcats.
He did. So there's 4.
So what do they have him down there as playing for? The
Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. 4. Bro, this is fucking.
You got half of the teams. He played for 8 teams. You want me to just give them to you?
No. I need to get a couple more of these. He played for the.
He had 3 different stints with the Lakers, which is crazy.
I know. Where did he go? Didn't he go? Was he on the Kings?
So here's a hint.
Was he on the Kings?
No.
Wow.
But here's a hint. He goes Magic, Lakers, Rockets, somebody before the Hornets. You're missing a season. I totally forgot about this one.
You go to the Suns?
No.
Bro, I think I can get 4. You're going to hit me with a couple and I'll be like, duh, obviously.
So after the Rockets, he played for the Hawks.
The Hawks. Oh, yeah, of course.
Then he goes Hornets.
Of course he was on the Hawks. Of course. I remember everybody bonering out that he was on the Hawks. He went Hawks, Hornets, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And then he goes Brooklyn Nets.
I knew he went for the Nets. I almost said that before.
Then he goes Washington.
Yes, I remember that.
Then he goes Lakers, wins his chip with the Lakers in the bubble. He must have loved the bubble, by the way.
And then where'd he go for his final stop? Before he went back to
76ers.
I don't even fucking totally recall the 76ers. Nets, Wizards I should have gotten, and Hawks.
I thought you would have got the Nets.
I was about to say Nets when you were like, here, let me give you a hint.
You know, I remember the Hawks. I vividly remember, earlier Dirty Sports days, first few years. Him having a shit playoff series and somebody going at you on Twitter. Because you had some aggressive Hawks fans at the day.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. But yeah, people going at me but I believe it was I believe there was a Hawks fan on Twitter who thought Dwight Howard, the addition of Dwight Howard to that Hawks team, like they were going to win the fucking chip. I think that might have been, what was that dude's name? Didn't Budenholzer coach the Hawks before going? Didn't he? And there was a guy who was insistent that this is it. They
were a number 1 seed one of those years, right?
I don't know if they were a 1 seed, but they might have been a 2 seed or something like that. Yeah, and they lost in this. They didn't make it to the conference finals.
Well, I think they got smoked by the Cavs.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think they had the best record. 2014, 2015, they were 60-22. They lost in the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, Budenholzer was their head coach.
I can see the kid's name in my fucking brain.
That was their last great year, was 2014, 2015. He wasn't on them just yet though. But yeah, Budenholzer coached those teams. He was on those squads as the head coach. We forgot to talk about your boy Mad Dog.
Oh yeah. This piece of shit.
So
it was dude, it was the greatest news that I'd gotten in I don't know how long. It was the equivalent of getting the thing in the mail where it's oh, there was a bank error in your favor. Here's $1,100. You're like, what? It's like finding $20 in a jacket.
Yeah, you didn't believe this.
Well, I didn't believe it, but I was just like, oh, you know what? He's such a dipshit that maybe he would do it.
So Mad Dog said he was going to quit if the Diamondbacks made it to the World Series.
Hey, Mikey! You think I'm going to do this forever? I'm looking for a reason to get out of here. Here I am. Not trying to talk baseball for the rest of my life. I haven't enjoyed it since Murderous Row retired. Since Mickey Mantle stepped in that sewer grate in Yankee Stadium and tore up his knee. A lot of people don't know. He actually fell coming out of a hotel. He fell out coming out of a hotel, Mikey. That's what happened to his knee. I haven't liked baseball since then, but here I am. 5 days a week. MLB Network. Screaming nonsense. Why don't guys throw the screwball anymore? I don't know. The kids these days, they think screwball is peanut butter whiskey. They don't know that back in the day. Old Jorge Lopez, the first Latino American to ever throw the screwball, came up. He was unhittable. For 6 weeks, he was unhittable. I can tell you one thing. I know baseball the way no one here knows baseball. No one's ever known baseball like I know baseball. And that's why I can guarantee you one thing. The Philadelphia Phillies will never lose. They lose or retire. If there's one thing I know about life, I'm sitting there in my office, looking over the downtown New York City skyscape, and I said, those Twin Towers, they'll stand forever. They'll always be there. That's one thing I know. They'll always be there.
So I don't follow these guys at all. Like, I'm talking it's almost like I've just tuned out ESPN at this point, to be fully honest.
It says one thing I know. I'm not a big basketball fan, Andy. I'm not a big basketball fan. I know very little about the NBA, but I know one thing. Dwight Howard exclusively has sex with women. I'm calling it right now. Look at him. Handsome man.
So I guess you sent this to me. I guess, Mad Dog.
What imagine being in 2023 and you're Mad Dog.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, I mean, he's stuck in a time warp, man. I can't. What confuses me, I don't follow it. I'm not just saying this. I really don't. I am shocked. He was obviously a big New York radio voice. I'm shocked that ESPN put him on camera.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Right, because he on radio makes sense. Just a loudmouth, local, blowhard type of guy. But this on national TV, to me, I think
You're
this
like,
shows.
Why would we put a big toe in a necktie on television?
Yeah, to me, this just shows how I think how much like the network is hurting. So he went on and said,
I know baseball, Andy. And I'll tell you one thing. I see these guys coming up. I don't think the Latino players are long for this world. I just don't think they can compete with the white athlete. Mickey Mantle, he's like a lumberjack. You're telling me this Luis in Jalico or whatever his name is? You're telling me these little guys? Sure, fancy glove work, but I don't see him making it.
So he said this on Monday.
Jose Altuve, too small.
The next.
Hold on, Mad Dog. We gotta hear what he says.
Look at look at this stubbed toe of a human.
So he actually said this this was not on ESPN. This was on Sirius
He stole
XM.
his wife's quarter zip to go to to go do a sports radio show. Honey, do you have a blouse I can wear?
I mean,
yes, something they usually take to wear to yoga class as a cover up.
He has his own network on Sirius XM.
Unreal.
It's crazy to me. You know what's funny? I actually looked this up the other day. How does Sirius XM still exist? How does it still exist? Like,
because Howard Stern is just a 10th pole.
I know, but even Howard's lost a lot of his listeners. I know I think they've jumped in the podcast world. Maybe that's what's saving them. But anyway, this is what Mad Dog said on Monday on his show.
If they win the next 2 days, they win the next 2 games and win this series in 7 games. If they win, I will retire on the spot. This could be the last 2 hours and 10 minutes that you hear my voice on these airwaves.
Where is he?
Okay. So
I love how everything is twice too. What you do, Chris Rock? If they win a game 7, this might be my final. I'm retiring. You're like, okay, we get it. He wants it. He's capable of doing an hour of radio, but he does 6 because he just takes fucking forever to say everything.
So then he went on, what is it? First Take, the show of ESPN that he's on. And then this is like their comedy shtick, which is so unfunny.
Where's Mad Dog at? I'm just saying, wait, is that? He said he's going to retire.
I mean, I'm going to pause it here. He's acting like he's rolling the camera. I mean, just look at that face, Praino. Just look at this guy.
Can you imagine being Molly Curran? You have to work with these two every fucking day?
Every day.
Just every day. You just go in and 2 idiots. You just go, all right. It's like her job is throwing a squeak toy between 2 fucking dogs. Here you go. This one looks like a little dinosaur. What do you mean? Nah. You're not me. God, I wish, dude, I can't think of a set that I'd want a fucking terrorist hit more than the Stephen A. Smith, Chris Russo set. Do the world a favor, Hamas. Take these motherfuckers out.
Oh man.
Wow! Wow! Is that it?
Does he think that's how cameramen work? Does he think that they can't just stand there and hold the camera? Does he think that cameramen have to mean mug and shake their ass?
And sway.
What is he doing?
What is he doing?
I am a retired Mad Dog.
That's
Stevie,
right.
but I
Shut
have
the
Uncle
fuck
Stevie and
up.
Aunt Molly. As long as I have you two, I'm in good shape. I can work.
That's right. That's right.
I can
my
work.
gosh.
Well, you say
You could be my
work.
intern today and like get me.
You have a beautiful
get me
intern.
A matcha, things like that.
Wait, your dopey little meals and all that little.
Yeah.
What is your dopey little meals? What the hell does that mean?
You say that you have us
I
and
only
you
eat
can
one
work,
thing.
but you do not.
I eat meatball sandwiches. Have been forever. Do you think meatballs aren't good for lunch? What do you think? What do you think sausage is? It's just meat and balls. I have it for breakfast. I have it for lunch. I have it for dinner. I get a 2-footer. I cut it into 3 pieces. I eat it all day. My wife makes the meatballs. It's why I only get a purple clothing, because if she gets any sauce on it, you can see it. That's why we exclusively wear marinara colored quarter zips. You're over here, Molly over here. Oh, she's a fitness influencer with a yogurt. What do you think? It looks like Francesa's jizz. You eat the yogurt like this, Molly. Fruit and nuts. What do you have? Some sort of farm animal?
Know what
The
this
worst.
means.
They're truly the worst.
I'm going to have the Arizona Diamondbacks back on this one. You can speak when spoken to. You will silence yourself when I say so on behalf of the Diamondbacks today. So anytime I want you to zip it, the words I'm going to use is Diamondbacks, Diamondbacks. Even though I did pick the Phillies to win myself. Yeah. This show is going to be dedicated to the Diamondbacks shutting you up since you threat to retire. So you can speak. So you can speak. But you know what you will be doing? You will be running errands throughout the show.
Exactly.
Today. So when I want some
that's my
hot chocolate,
punishment?
that's
Yeah.
your
Oh
punishment.
yeah. You
When
might.
I want some
you
hot
are
chocolate, you're gonna get some hot
You're
chocolate. If
100%.
I got some food that I'm gonna have in my desk, I want you to go to my
Hopefully
desk and
it's
get it.
pancakes for a
I don't know
change.
yet. I don't know yet.
Stephen A. just going full Django Unchained. You're gonna fucking. I'm gonna do your chores. This doesn't seem right.
Why did he say? Hopefully, it's pancakes. Did you hear that?
I mean, could you imagine? This is insane to me, Andy, that I'm sitting in my apartment. You're sitting in your house. We're doing this show. I love all our sponsors. I love all our fucking things. And that on ESPN, just two brain dead yelling morons doing comedy sketches. Just retire, you old fucking bag. You don't know shit about shit. How many embarrassing sports takes do these two have to fucking trade? ESPN. Jesus. Anyway, they'll both be appearing on Pat McAfee to do baseball trivia to show that they know baseball trivia.
Yeah.
Molly's just like, can I get out of here? Can Marianne Doe take over fucking the middle of the show?
Well, I mean, we've known this for a while. It's a clown show. That's why. It's like, let's pick clowns for basically clicks. It's clowns. I mean, you could just call it clowns for clicks. Like, that's what it is.
I don't watch a lot of football, Mikey, but I watch a little bit of football. And I've seen everything I need to see from this kid at Texas Tech, this Mahomes. He's not going to make it. He won't start one game in the NFL. He won't make it through training camp. He's not good. I can see it in his eyes. He's got nothing going for him.
Again, I just don't think Innis has long legs, though. Somebody actually just left a comment about SiriusXM. Sirius has deals with all these car companies that has kept them afloat for probably the last decade. Can't see them being around for that much longer. Yeah, and I know that. I know when you get a car, it's like, oh, free Sirius.
6 months free, and then you got to, you pay to keep it going.
Great comment from Mike Hunt.
Yeah.
The old classic Mike Hunt. Well, Joe, we do love the people that we work with. We especially love our friends at Miller Lite
Yeah.
because they have been our
Unlike Chris Russo, I am truly a man of my word. Truly.
yeah.
And I can guarantee you one thing, and I'll never back down. You'll never catch me behind the camera doing something. I'll never stop drinking Miller Lite. I'll never retire from drinking the crispiest golden Pilsner that there's ever been. The original light beer. I'll never quit, Andy. Never. Baseball, World Series, basketball, opening week. Football, we're literally dead mid-season. Nothing better than some Miller Lite and the perfect sports season.
Well, from kickoff till the final whistle, you simply cannot go wrong with a Miller Lite in your hand. Guys, it's the only light beer with a taste worthy of our national obsession with football. I mean, the two go hand in hand. Make it Miller time all season long. Get Miller Lite delivered right to your door. Visit MillerLite.com/dirty sports, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. Now this
Sir
is funny.
Pauls, send me on X, send me on Instagram, send me on whatever social media app is your preferred app. We are in the prime time of sports watching. What are you watching with the Miller Lite right now? You at home watching NBA on TV? Tag me and Miller Lite in it. We want to see it. You watching football? You at the game? You out there on the golf course like I've been lately? Send me a Miller Lite pics. I love when I get tagged in that. It's just somebody's can or bottle of Miller Lite, and they're like, "It's for you, Joe." I'm like, warms my heart.
Yeah, send that our way. Send that Miller Lite's way. So we're up to week 8 for the NFL season. It's crazy, man. We're already on week 8.
Yep.
I'm gonna play a call real quick.
Oh, wow.
Ooh,
Andy just scratches the surface of NFL talk, and he's like,
it's football related.
I know, but must be good.
Well, it's something that I never thought of. And to me, I think it makes perfect sense. So we'll hop in here, the calls. It's from our boy, John Smith. And this is, something kind of obvious I think we've all never thought about.
What's up, boys? With all the football talk, and you were talking about Staley and his going forward on fourth down and analytics, I want to toss this out that I believe analytics in football means the least in all of the major sports. When you think about it, there are 11 players on each side of the ball. It just takes one player not to do their job to screw everything up. So in baseball, you have potentially a pitcher, a catcher, a hitter. You would think analytics would mean more there. With basketball, it's only 5 people and 1 shooting and passing. Do you agree that football analytics basically is garbage? Talk to you later. Stay dirty.
So
what's up, boys?
So the argument is football analytics hold the least amount of weight of all sports when it comes to analytics.
Well, I'd say, I mean, I understand his take. I would say, obviously, baseball analytics. It's such a. I mean, we've talked about all of this analytic stuff. It's the depth of which you can cite things. Like in baseball, you have 162 game season, and these guys and players will have 500 at bats and all that. And I think that following baseball analytics and just saying we have gigantic sample sizes for a player's tendencies is why baseball is the most obvious
Yeah, for sure.
analytical thing. I agree with him. There's so many more factors in football, but I guess in basketball, the analytics, it's still like, what are we even looking at? We're trying to drive a player to a certain spot on the floor or whatever. It's like, I feel like basketball is just such a fast moving game that unless we're talking about like no one single play changes a basketball game as much as like some fourth down call or some decision to kick and not punt and some decision to go for it and not kick or whatever. Like, so I still think probably basketball analytics probably hold the least weight because it just doesn't even matter from play to play. But I understand what he's saying in the terms of you're looking at all these things in a vacuum. And yet there's so many different ways it can get fucked up, even if it like analytically makes sense.
Well, the thing I've noticed too with football, because they show it on screen, the percentages are so small. So they'll say if they get this fourth down, they have a 22% chance to win. If they don't get it, they have 19. And I'm like, why are you going for it? There's a 3% chance difference.
Right. And if they don't get it, I think that, we talk about all the time, the momentum and all these things like, when you're talking about a percent point here or a percent point there, the idea of like, well, if you get stopped here, it only decreases your chance of winning 3%. So we may as well like go for it, whatever. But it also just think about all the momentum that comes with like a huge fourth down stop for a defense.
100%. That's why like it doesn't make sense to me. All these reckless decisions, especially to go for it. Punting is not bad. It's not always bad. Field position's real. Momentum's real. All right, so it was a really rough week for both of us last week.
Was it?
You got 3 right. I got 5 right.
That's horrible.
We did terrible. You and I did awful. In fact, the last 2 weeks have been tough. We knew that. The last few weeks, it's been kind of a zany NFL season. It's tough to pick.
Well, did you see there was a thing about the NFL, I think it was like 6 games that had like massive Vegas like differences, like 86% of people or whatever bet in Vegas on the Bills last week. If you look at this, I mean, I hate to fuel your like rigged theory.
I'm not saying it's rigged. I'm just saying it's crazy.
But last week there was like 6 games that were like, the point of the lines is to get even money on both sides. It really has nothing to do with predicting the game. When a book makes the lines, they're trying to get even money on every game. Now they're getting money. Like last week, 6 games had heavy money on one side and none of them covered.
The Bills keep being huge favorite. They're huge favorites again tonight for the Thursday night game. The Bills are massive favorites every week. And they're just not covering. They are 9.5-point favorites tonight. I guess the counter is they will figure it out at some point. You'd assume. I don't know. But I don't know, Joe. Like the Bucks started good. They're kind of in a tailspin right now. Didn't they start?
So the game that hit me with the game tonight. What do we got?
It's 9.5 Buffalo favorite against Tampa.
In Buffalo.
Which again is a big spread. I get it. It's at home. The Bucks have looked like shit. Also, I tend to favorite the underdog in short weeks because it's a sloppy game, as we always discuss. I can go first. I'm not going to take the Bills again. I just won't. And if I lose a point here, I have no problem losing a point here. I'm not taking the Bills to cover 9.5 when they continuously not only don't cover, lose games.
Where do we stand? So I pulled within 2 weeks ago, and now you have a 3-point lead.
I have a 3-point lead.
Okay. Well, you're not losing You're not losing on this one because 9.5 on a Thursday night seems crazy. It just, I mean, I agree with you. The Bucs have been a very difficult team because there's really no sign that they should have been good. They started out looking great. Everybody sort of hopped on board, and then they let a bunch of people down the last few weeks. But it really doesn't have, like, I have no confidence in the Bucs whatsoever. None at this point.
Yeah, me either.
But 9.5 points on a Thursday. Okay, I guess it's a home game for the Bills. That's a factor. But like the Bills are what? 4-2? 4-3? 4-3. And yet have spreads every week like they're.
And they could have very easily lost to the Giants.
Yeah.
That could be flipped 3-4.
I'm with you. I'll take the Bucs. I'll take the points on a Thursday. I'll take the nearly double-digit points on a Thursday.
And if they do blow them out, I'm not suddenly, the Bills are the real deal. I'm just,
Right.
It's just not, it's a crappy team. I'm not going to be sold from one game. All right, Rams, Cowboys in Dallas. Cowboys are 6-point favorites in this one. So you're up. I probably think I know what you're going to say, though.
I am going to take the Rams. And the reason I'm going to take the Rams is because the Rams feel like a team that isn't good, and they play people close enough, but they don't have enough firepower to stay with teams the whole time. But at the same token, it's like, I don't think the Cowboys are a great football team by any means. I think that they have a bad coach, and I think that they are easily exposed, even though they're talented. And Sean McVay is a good coach. Mike McCarthy's not, never has been, never will be. Cowboys are far more talented. Matt Stafford's from Dallas. They're going to talk about it the whole game. Let's go Rams.
Yeah, I was going to pick the Rams as well, and I will. 6 is a lot for me. McVay's a good coach. He's finding ways to get people the ball. I mean, look, Puka was what? A 5th-round pick? 6th-round pick? He's having a great start of the year. He's actually getting more targets. I don't know if you saw that stat. It's an interesting stat. He's getting more targets with
Cooper Kupp
being back. So 6 is a lot. The only thing that could hurt this is a bad Matthew Stafford pick 6. Like, that's one of those games where if he throws a bad pick. But I agree. I'll ride with the Rams. All right, your boy, Kirk Cousins. Heading to Green Bay, where the Vikings are a 1.5 favorite. They've now won 3 of their last 4. Your boy, Captain Kirk, with a huge Monday night victory against the Niners.
I brought this up. I said this on Twitter. Let me ask you about it too. Was that the game? There's all this talk about, obviously, Kirk Cousins, the Kirk Cousins trade talk, but I don't know who trades for Kirk Cousins. There's a whole long story about the emergence of Brock Purdy is why he's not going to end up on the Niners now. But then you have a game where Brock Purdy does back-to-back games where Brock Purdy doesn't look great. Kirk Cousins does look great. Does Kirk Cousins to the Niners, is that now resurfaced?
No, get out of here.
Or hold on. Or was this the game? Like, truly, are the Vikings going to extend Kirk Cousins again? Like, your prediction. Is Kirk Cousins the starting quarterback of the Vikings next year?
Yes.
That's kind of wild, isn't it?
Zero hesitation. I will say yes.
Well, he's a free agent, right?
I do.
So you think they like he doesn't get to free agency? Do they extend Kirk Cousins like during this year?
I think so.
I love that, by the way. I'm so here for that. There was a moment a couple weeks ago where I was like, Joe, you got to remember, not every Vikings fan is a lunatic that's in your DMs.
True.
There's nothing wrong with the Minnesota Vikings, like as a franchise or as people or like the state of Minnesota. It's like, it'll be nice. It'll be nice when Kirk Cousins is gone and like the Vikings, like I was rooting for the Vikings with Case Keenum against the Eagles. Like, it'll be nice when the Vikings and their fans are free from Kirk Cousins and they can go on. But like, this feels like 3 more years of Kirk Cousins.
Here's what's crazy.
What are they extending for? 2 years?
Yeah.
$100 million?
Probably something like that. This is his 6th year, guys. Like, you lose track. Time flies. This is Kirk Cousins' 6th year with the Vikings. He's been to the playoffs twice. Now, this year is TBD. 1 playoff win. And I know it's a team sport, but you're the quarterback. You're the most important position of your team.
Don't forget that win was on a Kyle Rudolph loose ball foul under the basket.
Well, I don't really care like that. I mean, I think to me that's a little ticky-tacky.
Well, it wasn't ticky-tacky, but yeah, I mean, I'm just pointing it out. I mean, it was a full shove, but I'm just saying, in addition, that was the one win. I mean, a more of a box out than Dwight Howard ever accomplished. And Dwight Howard wanted the contact. You know what I mean?
You see all those videos that have resurfaced of Dwight Howard grabbing dudes' junks?
No.
You haven't seen that?
No.
There's like a fair amount out there. Like where he's messing with guys. Like he's purposely on the bench, like grabbing some dude's junk. And it's like, yeah, this had a whole different meaning. And remember when Kobe got in trouble?
Yeah.
Dropping the F word.
Yeah. Was that at Dwight Howard?
I think it might have been, or at least they were on the same team.
Wow.
Anyway, back to Minnesota. I think they do extend him. I think they're foolish enough to do it. If you're a Vikings fan, you don't want that, obviously. You want to keep losing.
Well, that's what I said. It was last week. Caleb Williams has back-to-back games. Suddenly in the same week, the Vikings, Giants, Pats, Bears, and Broncos. They all won last week. Tank season is over. No one's tanking now.
Well, the Vikings, I mean, dude, the NFC's weak. The Vikings have a legitimate shot of making the playoffs.
No, they don't. But that's fine.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Why don't you think they do?
Because they're trash, in my opinion. And
they might be trash. That doesn't mean they can't make the playoffs.
Well, you're gonna have to win. You're gonna have to still win 10 games, right?
You might win 9 and make it.
Okay.
Who's up?
I'm up because you're up because I picked the Rams, right?
Yeah, the Packers are just not good right now. They're not good. So either the Packers, they're going to fall 2-5. It's a road game. Here's the thing about the Vikings, which nobody's talking about. Their defense is much improved, very much improved. Brian Flores is a good coach. I thought he was a good coach. I think he's a good defensive coach, and he's obviously their defensive coordinator. I'm going to take the Vikings to win and cover 1.5. I already know you're going to take the opposite.
No, I'm not. I'm going to take the Vikings to win and cover because I think that this is setting up perfectly for this. Like the Vikings, okay, you beat the Niners. By the way, great win. No doubt about that.
Yeah, huge win.
Yeah, huge win. Huge win. And now you're going to beat the Packers. It'll be a close game, but 1.5 is not enough. You're going to beat the Packers. And then it's like, we're back, baby. We're back, baby. Guys, you won 13 games last year or something like that. Like, how many games they win last year?
Yeah, I think 13. All right, we're both riding with
One thing I'll tell you, Mikey. The New York Football Giants stand no chance against the Minnesota Vikings and Minnesota in these playoffs. No chance. None. The Vikings are 13-4. The Giants are 500 football team. 0% chance of winning this game.
All right, here's a dud of a football game. Falcons Titans in Tennessee. Atlanta's 2.5-point favorites.
Jesus Christ. This is another team. Like, are the Vikings going to win the NFC South?
Wait, you mean
Or the Falcons?
I don't know, but if you're a Titans fan, if you're Alex from Kentucky,
Yeah.
that's a team you want to tank to get a quarterback, man.
What? Where is this game?
It's in Nashville.
I'll take the Titans. I am going back on, and this goes for this show, but also my gambling. It's funny. Last week I did three. I picked 3 games correct. Still made a little dough gambling because I have to pick every fucking game. But the Falcons. The Falcons are on my do not bet list.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch them
for
ever.
eternity.
Ever.
For eternity.
I'm not going to touch them this week either, so I got to go with the Titans as well. I just, I've missed too many games with the Falcons, and the quarterback Desmond Ridder is trash right now.
I mean, he like it's crazy because he like looks okay, but then like 3 fumbles last week.
Yeah. All right, Saints Colts. The AFC NFC South battle. This game is even. They're both 3-4. It's in Indianapolis.
Am I first?
I think I am.
Can I go first?
Sure, go for it.
I'll take the Saints.
Yeah, take the Saints.
The Colts ping pong back forth every week from being absolutely incompetent to looking halfway decent. They looked halfway decent last week. I'll take disaster Colts game this week. This as shitty as the Saints have been, this is a game I'll bet. I'll bet Saints to win this game.
I'll say this. If the Saints lose this game, Jameis will be the starter next week. That's my prediction. If the Saints lose, yeah, boy, Jameis Winston,
this fucking horse,
will be starting. But I'm also going to ride with the Saints. Okay, Patriots Dolphins in Miami. Miami's 9-point favorites. It's a big spread. But did you see how there's a lot of talk on this Patriots celebrating too much last week, their win, and former players saying it's embarrassing. And I'm still not impressed. I'm going to go with the Dolphins to win and cover in a blowout.
Wow.
In a blowout.
Dude, the Dolphins did not impress me on Monday night, or on Sunday night, I should say. That was the Dolphins or Paper Tigers game.
Look, I agree, but I think the Patriots are complete trash.
We just have picked. I think we've picked every game the same. I'll take the Pats because I'm gonna regret this because it feels like the Dolphins are one of these teams. They'll beat
shitty teams by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, and they'll lose to good teams. But I'm essentially doing the reverse pick of what I did last week. So I said, oh, the Bills fucking beaten down by the Patriots for so long that they'll come back. They're going to stomp them. Yeah, I hate this pick, but I'll take the Pats just to have a different pick.
All right. Yeah, that's a risky pick. I don't want to ride with the Patriots. I know they won last week.
I don't want to ride with the Patriots either, but I guess this is the conversation is I don't want to ride with the Dolphins more.
I still think Miami again is like this gimmicky offense that works against shitty teams. The league is such a quick, like the league learns so quickly.
But also, I don't
schemes.
even necessarily think it's like gimmicky as much as like, oh, if we can rush for 200 yards against you, we can put up a ton of points. It's like, yeah, man, that's like, fuck, that's cool. That's worked since the 1930s. And if you can't, what? Then what?
Yeah, that's worked since the Mad Dog Russo era.
Yeah. Old Paul Hornig. He loves to set you up with the run. And then what does he do? He fires that overhand thing he does. The guy's running downfield, and he throws the ball overhand to him. It's unbelievable. I never seen anything like it. This whole game, he's going, let's go on the power eye. The full house. And you think, what, they're going to run. And then he pulls out this rocket launcher thing where he hucks the ball like he's one of the guys at the Seattle Fish Market. I've never seen anybody throw such fury. How do you even grip pig skin to throw it? I'll tell you one thing, though. This Paul Hornig offense, it's a gimmick. Mark my words, Mikey. The forward pass will not last. It will not last. If there's ever a day where a quarterback throws the ball 20 times in overhand in the NFL, I will retire from this show. You might see it 8 times a game. You might see it twice a quarter when you're down, you got 3rd and long. But I will hang myself outside of this building on a noose if any NFL quarterback ever throws the ball 20 times in a game. Mark my words, I'll be a dead man hanging. It'll be like a game of hangman. You'll be like, I'll take an A for Mad Dog. I'll take a D, 2 D's in the middle. Mad Dog. I'm a hanging man. Never will there be a day where an NFL quarterback throws 20 times in a game. Never.
Well, it's a good segue into the New York market. Jets, Giants. Jets are 3-point favorites. You're up.
I'm going to take the Giants. You're going to take the Jets. We all know how it's going to go. Let's just get it done.
Oh, he is correct. Riding with my Jets. You're right.
I'll tell you this. My confidence here in the Giants is not strong. The one thing I will say about the Giants, forget Tyrod Taylor, forget Saquon, forget all the talk, all the commotion, all the everything. Is it Daniel Jones? Is it Tyrod Taylor? Is it all of the offense and blah, blah, and they've only scored this many touchdowns and whatever, and blah, blah, blah. Defense is playing great as of late. The defense is playing great. Some guys have really come on as guys who will probably be playing for this defense for a while. The love affair with Zach. Well, I'm not here to go. I'm not here on what's going to be a home Giants game. I'm not here riding with Zach Wilson. I'm not. I'm sorry.
Yeah, look, it's a risky move. I don't care. I'm blinded by my hard knock love. So, Jets winning cover. That's going to be one I lose. I already know it. All right, Jags, Steelers. This one's in Pittsburgh. The Jags are 2.5-point favorites. I'm just looking at this game thinking if the Jags win, I think they're going to win by more than 2.5. I also see Steelers would be 5-2 if they win. The 5-2, how?
Because they play some defense. They play some D.
I know the offense is still shit. I'm going to go first. I think the Jags win and cover.
Sadly, I do too.
I think the Jags are starting to build some momentum for a legit contending team.
People had them as a contender coming into the year.
They did.
Because they played the Chiefs so tough. Listen, I think that I think the Jags kind of contender title is because I don't believe in this Bills team. I don't believe in this Dolphins team. I don't believe in Zach Wilson being able to win 2 playoff games as a Jets quarterback, let alone maybe even 1. So you start running out of teams in the AFC that you do believe in. The AFC South, I don't, the Colts are fucking terrible. The Texans might have a nice little season, but like, I don't think that they're, the Titans are in disarray. Like, it seems like the Jags will be able to stack some wins in their own division. They're not the Ravens, Bengals, Browns, Steelers beating all up on each other in the North. You start running out of teams after the Chiefs that you do believe in. Like, right now, based on quarterback alone, I like Trevor Lawrence more than I like Lamar Jackson.
Wow.
So, but that's not even really a bold claim. Like,
okay.
To me, it's like, I've been on this show for a long time saying, I think if you need to run to win, like the pure passing quarterback that also has mobility to run when needed is always going to be my preference. I'm a GM. I'm not drafting those guys. So like, yeah, to me, it's not even crazy to say, I think the blueprint for success in the NFL will always favor Trevor Lawrence more than it will Lamar Jackson.
I don't disagree. I like the Jags. I like them a lot right now.
I don't like them a lot, but I just go, I'm running out of teams that I like to appear in the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs.
Even if the Jags lose this, I like the Jags. And again, for having a shitty division, it really helps. Being in a shitty division helps. So I think they're going to win and cover. All right, Eagles Commanders, 7-point Eagles favorites on the road. You're up.
I'll take the Commanders. Playing the Eagles. They played the Eagles to overtime last time. It's on the road. Jalen Hurts wore a brace on his left leg for the second half of the football game.
It's a big spread.
And I think the Commanders stink, by the way.
I do too.
And I do think that there's potential here of a blowout Eagles win. Ron Rivera gets fired. Eric Bieniemy is the coach by next week. That being said, the Eagles I don't care. Call me an Eagles hater. Call me a Giants homer. I don't care.
The Eagles looked good last week.
Did they?
Yeah, they did. They did look good. Jalen Hurts had a couple bad turnovers. They overall as a team played very well.
Oh, yeah, overall as a team played really well. Jalen Hurts, a couple turnovers. That's a back and forth game until late in the game. One team had tons of penalties called on them. The other team was allowed to hold. That game was way closer than the final score.
Okay.
And I don't even like the Dolphins.
You're making me want to pick the Eagles, all this shit talking.
Great.
Even though I was going to go with the Commanders.
I think you should pick the Eagles.
I will. Sam Howell.
Sam Howell stinks. The Commanders stink.
Yeah, they stink.
I agree.
And you're right. They did play him close in Philly, which makes me think they can't play him close twice. I'm right with the Eagles. Let's go.
You're getting backdoor Sammied.
Well, Dwight Howard knows all about that.
Yeah.
Do you think he ever puts on the Superman outfit when he bangs?
I think Shaq has a trademark on that.
But didn't he do that in the slam dunk contest?
Yeah.
You think Dwight Howard's the first slam dunk contest winner to bang another dude?
No. 100% no.
You think 100% no?
Yeah.
100%. You don't think he's the first slam dunk winner to bang another dude? Who else is banging another dude?
My man's name was Dominique.
Dominique Wilkins?
I'm just saying, my man's name was Spud. Like, what are you talking about here? Not to go full on against those old Atlanta Hawks fans from my DMs, but your boy's name was Spud.
What if that was the case? Every former Hawk slam dunk winner floats both ways. They float in the lane and they float into dudes. What about that?
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
He hit with a not that there's anything wrong with that Seinfeld reference on the story drop. He said kitty 4 times. He said, here, kitty, kitty.
My man's name was Cedric Sabalos.
Oh, yeah.
Also, just look at D Brown's face.
Unbelievable. Okay. Moving right along. Texans, Panthers. Houston's a 3-point favorite. This one is in Charlotte. I keep forgetting the Panthers have not won a game yet.
That's correct.
You're up, man.
I'll take the Houston Texans to win and cover.
Wow. You think they fall to 0-7?
Which is crazy because they just drafted a quarterback. So they're the only team that shouldn't be tanking.
I know.
I actually low-key like what Houston's starting to put together.
Yeah, I do too. I like their coach too. How many games are they going to lose until they win one? So you have the number 1 and number 2 draft picks battling. I'm going to go with Carolina. I think they get their first dub.
Ooh, I like that from Andy.
A little upset pick of the week, Get a nice little dub against the guy getting all the clout right now, who was drafted number 2. All right, Browns Seahawks in Seattle. The Seahawks are 4-point favorites. I just don't know the quarterback situation. What is going on with Deshaun Watson?
And what does that make you do? How does it make you feel?
It probably doesn't even matter that much. It's the same thing with the Browns. It's the same thing I said about the Steelers. I'm going to say to the Browns. Are the Browns going to start 5-2? The Cleveland Browns with basically a hodgepodge of quarterbacks? No, I don't think they do. But do they lose by less than 4 points? I also don't think they do. I'm going to ride with the Seahawks. This is a tough one.
It's a tough one. Browns defense is just so good. I'm going to take the Browns. Field goal game. I feel like if it was 3.5, you would have picked the Browns, but because it was 4, nah, let's go. You'd have been like, that hook.
I probably would have. would have.
So I'm going to take the half point hook. I'm going to take the double half point hook.
All right, Chiefs Broncos. This one's in Denver. Chiefs are 7-point favorites.
70? That's aggressive.
I was going to say, I'm going to take the Chiefs.
It's aggressive. 70.
And
I think they can win by 71 though. I'll take the Chiefs.
So we both take the Chiefs. I hope she who shall not be named will not be shown.
Oh, right. It's in Denver?
Yeah.
She'll be there, right?
Doesn't she have a tour coming up or some shit?
Not Andy. I wish I could give less of a fuck.
By the way, I got real quick. I got my intro into her fans on TikTok. What a very interesting group of fans, to say the least. They're pretty much batshit crazy, man. I mean, it's pretty insane.
You're literally sitting here telling me it's like you're telling me spaghetti and meatballs is delicious. It's like you're telling me, have you tried Miller Lite? This is like saying, what's a great car? They ride so smooth. You should get yourself a vintage Cadillac. Like, who are you talking to?
No, I know. It's my first foray into.
If there's a truther about if there is one remaining Swiftie hater on the planet, it will be this guy. If there are 0 Swiftie haters on the planet, that means I am dead. Like, bro, you have no idea. You're just getting started, bro.
Well, just for me,
I sent you the James Franco fucking in the news meme. First time?
No, I know, but for me, it's more of standing so hard for a celebrity. You have something wrong with you. If you stand so hard for a celebrity or a politician or anybody in that nature. Actually, athlete is probably the least bad in my opinion. Stand for an athlete, cool. But when you stand so hard for an athlete, or I'm sorry, for a politician or a celebrity, like a pop star, it's just weird. Why? Why is your whole identity connected to this person? I almost want to put on a shrink hat and say, let's talk about it. Why do you feel so threatened by 2 men saying that this choreographed handshake is cringe? Because it is cringe. You could still like her music and say, yeah, that's cringe. But why do you feel so threatened? That's what I want to say to these grown women. Now, 11-year-old, cool. You're an 11-year-old on TikTok. You feel threatened. You're 11. But when you're 30, let's talk about it. What's really going on in your life? Chiefs by 1 million. Did you freeze again?
Oh, yeah.
That you froze at the funniest level, too. Joe, you froze at this satisfied look of, this is what I've been preaching for all these months to Ruther.
Yep.
And he finally saw it firsthand.
Yep.
With those women on TikTok.
Yep.
And you continuing to say yep with that frozen.
Yep.
You talked to Apple, and I thought they fixed your computer.
Well, I thought so too. Lies, I tell you. More like Apple don't care. Sorry, were you looking for the Genius bar? We can only send you to the Jay Cutler bar. That's where you can get help with your Apple don't care.
What is happening with your computer? I just don't get
Andy, I don't get it either. Remind me though, the Jay Cutler thing just reminded me of something. Remind me to tell you something when the show ends.
Who's it about? Jay Cutler?
Loosely related to Jay Cutler. 3 degrees of separation.
Dwight Howard banged Jay Cutler?
No. It's good though. You'll like it.
Who would be the top if Dwight Howard banged Jay Cutler?
It feels like Dwight Howard. Feels like Jay Cutler would be like, I don't care, whatever.
He's smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, smoking Jay Cutler. Remember how long that was a meme for?
That was a nice meme.
Dude, we're so old that like smoking Jay Cutler hasn't been a meme for like a decade at this point.
When did Crying Jordan finally fade out?
So I feel like something happened and like took it over.
Have you seen the thing on TikTok with the Michael Jordan's mom body double?
No, what do you even mean?
I don't even know
Michael Jordan's mom?
Yeah, I don't even know what it's from. It's from something with Jordan's mom. And it's on a basketball court. And then the body double comes in, and it's a dude who slam dunks it. Like posing as his mom. Somebody showed it to me today, and I didn't really fully understand it, but it was like, this was Michael Jordan's mom's body double, and I could not stop laughing.
That's
like
hilarious.
it's clearly a dude. You're just like, that's not a chick. It's a dude dunking a basketball. All right, you gotta get your shit fixed, man.
I think I'm returning. I think I should be returning to your life momentarily, Andy.
How do you know when you're returning to the screen?
Because I go white and I'm back. Dude, it's a whole process at this point. It's unbelievable.
All right, let's get through these games. Ravens, Cardinals. 9.5 Ravens favorites in Arizona. Remember when Arizona? Oh, they're decent. They beat the Cowboys. Well, guess what, guys? They're 1-6, and they still suck. This is a game to me. We go ahead.
Am I first?
Well, we both at the same time are like the Chiefs are going to kill them, just like I think the Ravens are going to kill the Cardinals.
I'll take the Cardinals.
Oh, threw me for a little ringer there.
9.5 is big. I think that the Ravens' potential of beating this team is very high. The potential of them blowing them out, very high. But at the same time, it feels like this is the week for the Ravens, man. Is Lamar Jackson the MVP? Two picks, field goal win to 2 picks, field goal win to beat the Cardinals. Like, oh, that was close. That was closer than it should be.
I'm glad you're doing this. I think the Ravens beat the living shit out of them.
Great.
No, the Ravens are in like we're gonna roll through team mode, and then week 12 hits and Lamar Jackson can't play. That's how it's played out the last 2 years. All right, your next game is the game of the week. It is the Bengals Niners. Brock Purdy probably not going to play.
Wow. Where is it? In San Francisco?
San Francisco.
In Santa Clara or wherever?
Yeah. You have Sam Darnold.
Is this a primetime game?
No, it's CBS. It's the Jim Nantz, Tony Romo game. You know, it could have been flex. They didn't want to give up the rights. So that's how it works. CBS is like, we're not giving up the rights to this game. So Bengals are coming off a bye. Niners have lost 2 in a row. They're without Purdy. They're going to be without Debo again. Just so you know, this spread was 5.5 when it was announced that Sam Darnold was going to be a starter. It dropped to 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's been announced. Now it's back at 3. So I have a lot of thoughts.
Yeah. As you're a Bengals fan, tell me
Well,
your thoughts.
As a guy who lives here and knows the kind of follows it, but also I've had a lot of thoughts about the Niners. First thought is, I don't really care that Sam Darnold's starting. And people might call me crazy. I don't think it really makes that much of a difference. Where it matters is the turnovers. Where Brock Purdy's not going to be as turnover friendly, but I think Sam Darnold is definitely obviously going to be more turnover friendly. But I think you can also
prone, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, turnover prone. But I think also it's like a feast or famine with Sam Darnold. Like, I don't think, to be honest, they're 2.5 or 3 point difference in spread. I just don't. Because I think Shanahan's that good of a coach. I do not see the Niners losing 3 games in a row. I just don't. And their defense has had a couple rough weeks. Now, the Bengals are usually pretty good off the bye. They actually have a great record.
What's the Bengals record right now?
3-3. So you got to look at it this way. Do the Niners lose 3 in a row? Do the Bengals fall to 3-4?
It's really tough.
We all know my thoughts.
Listen,
about
if
Zach
the Bengals
Taylor.
go 4-3, win this game, even with Sam Darnold out there, parade's back on, right?
Oh, yeah. I think if the Bengals win this game, they could start rolling. They get Buffalo at home for Sunday night next week. Then they get the Texans at home. They could really start clicking. I do believe that. Now, here's my thing. I said this on Justin in the Jungle. I still have zero faith in Zach Taylor calling plays. Here's a stat I'll give you guys that I gave on his podcast last week. This is the 3rd year with Higgins, Boyd, Chase, and Burrow. The Bengals have never finished top 5 in points per game scoring. How is that possible? I'm not talking top 3. You've never finished top 5 with arguably the best trio of wide receivers. The highest they've ever finished in points per game is 7th, and they're not finishing top 5 this year because it's a shitty play calling. And also, I don't know if you knew this. This like suddenly became news in Cincinnati, which I go, how do you guys not know this? You know the Bengals OC. Let's put that in quotes. You know, his dad coached Zach Taylor at Nebraska. Did you know that? The Bengals offensive coordinator, Brian Callahan, his dad was Zach Taylor's head coach. And people were just now putting the 2 and 2 together. Like, wait, did you just make your coach's son the offensive coordinator because he was your coach at Nebraska? So again, I don't even know if he's fit for the job. Do the Niners lose 3 in a row, Joe?
Yes, they do. I'll take the Bengals to win the game.
Oh, not only cover.
Well, no, that's not true. I think they'll. Listen. I think
It's
that
3.
it's a 3-point game, and I think that the Bengals could win this game. I think they could. I'm not sure that they do, but I think that they could. I'll take the Bengals. I'll also take this. I'll take this storyline. Niners lose 3 in a row. Niners lose like 4 games the whole season. Niners play the NFC. Niners represent the NFC in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we agree there. Even if they lose this. Who's this a bigger game for? I'd argue the Bengals.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because like you
already
said,
picked the Niners, right? Didn't you pick the Niners? Are you waffling? Did I'm convincing you? I was riding. I'm taking the Bengals because you're like, I don't think it's a 3-point difference. Brock Purdy. I think Sam Darnold gets a look at this. Look at this fucking guy.
You waffle all the fucking time.
Look at this fucking
I'll
guy.
take the Niners.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I don't like anything about this game.
I think if the Niners win, it's a push. I think they win by 3.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. I also think for Bengals fans, even if you lose, I don't think if they fall to 3 and 4, the season's done.
No.
So.
But then you do have to be. What do you say? You said they have Bills and
then Texans.
You got to win those 2.
Yeah. I don't know. This season's so goddamn unpredictable. All right, your Sunday night game, it's a stinker. Your 2 and 5 Bears travel to LA for your 2 and 4 Chargers. Chargers are 8.5-point favorites.
Really, really hard to pick the Chargers as 8.5-point favorites against anybody right now, right?
Well, yeah, right?
And that's why I'm going to do it.
Well, that guy had a good week last week. Who's their quarterback? The Bears. Or at least they won. I don't even know how to play.
Yeah.
I didn't watch that game.
It feels like this Chargers team.
I'll take the Chargers too.
Oh, okay.
Well, I just like, I don't know.
Feels like the Chargers probably just have too much offense. But at the same time, like, here's the good thing. Chargers either blow out this Bears team or you fire. Like, if you imagine you win a 3-point game here, I'd fire Staley for that.
Yeah. God, we have another Raiders. How many times have the Raiders been on prime time? Against the Packers, against the Steelers, and now against the Lions. This is the 3rd Raiders primetime game already. Is the Raiders fan base really that big?
I have no idea. But,
how are the Raiders?
But even if their fan base is that big, no one gives a shit if they're bad. What's the spread?
Detroit's 8-point favorites
in Vegas.
Detroit.
In Detroit. It's still big, man.
Well, I'm gonna take the. I was about to say Raiders, but who's playing quarterback for the Raiders at this point?
Brian Hoyer or Aiden O'Donnell? Unless Jimmy G's coming back.
Fuck it. I'll take the Raiders.
I'll take the Lions. Bounce back game.
You son of a bitch.
You motorboating son of a bitch.
You leave the old switcheroo on me there.
The old switcheroo. Because you know I hate the Lions. That's what you know. But I don't really hate the Lions. I just hate their fans. But this is what the Lions went by 40, and everybody's like, it's back on. And you're like, dude, you beat the fucking Raiders at home. It's the goddamn Raiders.
they're going to be turned. When's the last time Detroit had a home Monday Night Football game? I bet you it's been a minute. A home Monday Night Football game? Hopefully we get a little Manning cast out of this.
Yeah, we need to break down the Jared Goff, Aiden O'Connell quarterback play.
Does anyone love offense as much as Peyton Manning? He does not care who is playing.
Yeah.
That guy
rooting for
just
the fucking offense.
just loves offense
It's
so
amazing. It's amazing.
much.
I love the Manning cast so much. It's the best. Like, dude, it's the NFL's equivalent of inside the NBA.
Where's Peyton do that from?
I think his house. I think his basement.
No, it's massive. Eli does, but it's a studio. He's doing it from somewhere. All right, I hate
Omaha
this pick.
Productions HQ.
All right, week 8 picks. Hey guys, we're going to be in New Orleans.
That's right.
I know we just started this podcast and we're new to it, but we have our 1,000th episode.
Not everybody needs a podcast. That's my favorite.
You bros. Oh, looks like somebody bought a microphone. I actually did.
I might make a video, dude. That might be my TikTok for the day. Follow us on TikTok at Dirty Sports. I might take a. Not every podcast needs a fucking. Not every white duo needs a podcast, and just promote our 1,000th episode in New Orleans, December 16th.
You should, by the way.
Yeah, New Orleans. You should, but I will. December 16th, Comedy House NOLA. I'm so excited. There's talk out there. I've seen in the Instagram DM that I was in that Dirtballs are coordinating to buy themselves some football tickets. Get on it. Friday night, we're going to do a Port of New Orleans Brewing Co. Dirtball meetup, sort of registration event. What's it called when you go to college? What's that first week called when you're like a freshman? Orientation. Do an orientation. And then Saturday, 1,000th episode of the Dirty Sports Podcast, 2 stand-up comedy shows. If you go to their website right now and you pick the 7 o'clock or 9 o'clock stand-up show, that link will be the one that's under my face. Pick which show you want to go to. Under that, there will be an option for bundling it with the Dirty Sports Podcast. Let us know. Tag us on Instagram. Tag us on Twitter. Tag Comedy House NOLA. Show me your tickets. I want to know that you're coming. Let's get a head count going. It's going to be so much fun. And then Giants at Saints after that. Tyrod, Jameis, Battle of the Busts.
All right.
I'll also be in Vegas this coming week, Monday morning. I head to Vegas for a week of shows at Brad Garrett's Comedy Club, which is at the MGM Signature. It's right near Topgolf. I'm going to get a Topgolf day in. If there's any Dirtballs down there that want to get a Topgolf day in, if any Dirtballs there want to go hit the links, I'm bringing my clubs. If there's any Dirtballs on there, just want to get in some trouble, come see me it's great. It's one show a night at Brad Garrett's Comedy Club. Come to a show. No late show, so we can go out after. Come through, and then I'll be at Giants at Raiders at the Death Star Sunday, November 5th. Heading to Alaska a few weeks after that. Headed to this is a little side note, Andy. Week after Thanksgiving, I'm gonna do a week in Hawaii. My first ever trip to Hawaii. Shaka bra. We're gonna throw a comedy show there. So if you are a Hawaiian dirtball, slide in my DMs. I'll tell you about a potential comedy event that'll be thrown there. And then, of course, like we said, we'll be in New Orleans. Follow me on all social media at Joe Praino, joepraino.com/shows. A lot of shows in and around LA coming up. I'm at the Hollywood Improv this Saturday night, 9:30 show in the main room. Come through.
All right. Thanks for sticking with us, guys. That's our show. Have a great weekend. We'll see you guys on Monday. And as always, stay dirty.